Translation: O Bali Maharaj, Indrasena, now you may go to the planet Sutala, which is desired even by the demigods. Live there peacefully, surrounded by your friends and relatives. All good fortune unto you. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Bali Maharaj was transferred from the heavenly planet to the planet Sutala, which is hundreds of times better than heaven, as indicated by the words Swargivi Prartyam. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead deprives His devotee of material opulences, this does not mean the Lord puts him into poverty. Rather, the Lord promotes him to a higher position. The Supreme Personality of Godhead did not ask Bali Maharaj to separate from his family. Instead, the Lord allowed him to stay with his family members. Yatipi parivaritam. Indrasena Maharaja yahi bo badramastute sutalam swargibi prartyam yatibi parivarita. O Bali Maharaj, Indrasena, now you may go to the planet Sutala, which is desired even by the demigods. Live there peacefully, surrounded by your friends and relatives. All good fortune unto you. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chaksurun militam jena tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svaparandigam Adadanastrинанданtai Vidam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dulisyam Janma Janmani. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatribhyascha Kripasindhu Vaja Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, but my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. Therefore I offer my humble obeisances at His lotus feet. So here we see the Lord giving award to Bali Maharaj, who's also known as Indrasena. He was living in heaven. We can't imagine anything beyond heaven. But here to describe that Sutala is hundreds of times better than heaven, Svarg. It's even desired by the demigods. Svargivi, what is it? Svargivi Prartyam. Just like we know this song of Narottam Das Thakur, Prarthana. Prarthana means prayers. So Prartyam. Even the demigods are praying to go to such a place. Everybody's performing great penances and austerities. Not everyone, but many people in this world. Because Gita, Krishna says, the Veda is filled with flowery language, so people are bewildered and they think the goal of life is to go to heaven. So they perform pious activities, donations, perform yagyas and penances, just to go to the heaven. Here it describes even the demigods desire to go to Sutala, such a place we can't imagine. So Bali Maharaj, he surrendered everything to the Lord. So someone may say, therefore he's in very impoverished condition. He surrendered everything to the Lord. Therefore he's impoverished condition. But here we see Lord gave him even greater position. On top of that, he said you don't have to leave your home and family. Generally we see all the sadhus, they go to the forest, giving up family, home, relatives. They go to the Himalayas. So many things like this. But here, Lord does not say you give up your family and your friends and your relatives and you go to the forest. He gave him more opulence than he already had and said, use parivaritaha, surrounded by gyati, all of your family members. Surrounded by your family members. Because actually Krishna consciousness is very practical. We don't recommend anything impractical. Just like we see Bhagavad Gita, Krishna did not speak Bhagavad Gita. This is the supreme science of spiritual life. But he did not speak it to some sadhu living up in the Himalayas who's renounced everything and living, sitting in the fire in the summertime and sitting in the water in the wintertime. He did not speak to a great sadhu like that. He did not even speak it to a Brahmin. Brahmin means they're engaged in cultivating spiritual life. People are thinking that reading Bhagavad Gita, that's for the Brahmanas, that's for the sadhus. Krishna did not speak to any Brahmin either. Who did he speak to? He spoke to Arjuna. Arjuna was Kshatriya. With so many duties. Everybody says, now I'm busy with my family life. Just like yesterday and a few days before in Vrindavan, one lady was complaining to me that my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they don't like me doing bhakti. He says, that's for your old age. Now you have to make money for your family. But Kshatriya means, what to speak of one family, he's maintaining many families. The whole kingdom he's maintaining. We have so much trouble to maintain one family. We're working day and night. Both husband and wife is working. Just to maintain one family in this Kali Yuga. Just so degraded condition has come. Both husband and wife is working. Wife is not meant to work. She's meant to stay at home and raise the children. It's like I remember when I used to come home from school. Hi Mom, I'm home. Then she'll cook me something nice. She'll help me with my homework. And now both husband and wife, they're working. So the kids come home from school. Who becomes the mother? This ek ankwali asur. One-eyed asura is there in everybody's house. But what do the parents tell the children when they go to school? They go off to school, they're walking to school. Is it don't talk to any stranger, don't take anything from any stranger, don't go near any stranger, don't accept anything from any stranger. What do? They put satellite dish on top of their house and they invite every stranger in the universe to come and put crazy idea in their children's head. And then they wonder why the children are like they are in this modern age. Anybody can work, anybody can run an office, anybody can do business. That's not a big deal. But there's no one except a woman who can be a mother. And if you ask why are you both working? Hope for the children. But I'll tell you a secret. The children don't care for your things. What do you do with all that money you buy? You give them things. The children don't care for your things. You see, they play with the thing for 5 minutes, then they throw it away and they forget about it. The children want your love. They want mother's love. That's what makes nice children, is mother's love. But anyway, this Kali Yuga has become so complicated. Both are working for the children, and the children, they don't care for the parents at all anymore in this day. They're both working hard. So what to speak of maintaining one family? Arjuna, he's running a kingdom. So many families to administrate. Just like we're trying to run one temple. It is a big headache. You ask Shruti Dharma what headache it is. So they say, no, now I'm busy with my family life. Let me read Bhagavad Gita later when I'm old person. Just like I remember when I was president of Krishna Balaram Temple. Some old guy come with a cane. He can't see anything, can't hear anything. He says, I want to move into the temple. When he is young and he could do some service for Krishna, he didn't want to join the temple. Now that his body is totally useless, he cannot do anything for Krishna. He'll just be a burden in the ashram. Now he comes. Yeah, I want to join the temple now. When he was young and actually do something for Krishna, he didn't want to join. Now that he's useless, he can't do anything for Krishna. Now he wants to join. So Arjuna was busy like anything. Being a king, we can't imagine. We're just running this one temple. It is such a headache. We can't imagine running a whole kingdom. But that's who Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to. That's who Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to, because it is practical. He never told Arjuna that you go to the mountain and sit in the fire and sit in the water. You give up your family, you give up your kingdom, you give up everything. He never told. He said, you stay, you do your duty, but what do? You always remember me. Mamanusmara yudhyata. Yud means fight. Your business as Kshatriya is fighting. You don't give up your fighting. He didn't tell him to give up fighting. He said, you fight. But what? Mamanusmara. Just like we know smaranam. Anusmara, you always remember me. You do your work. You work in this world. You always remember me. This is practical. Just like sometimes we're walking down the street and from some store, some music comes. So we're become absorbed in listening to that music. We're walking down the street. We're not bumping into everybody. We're still doing our work. But we became absorbed in listening to that song. So in the same way we do our work, just like Prabhupada calls it crude example. Just like a woman who's got a lover besides her husband. She's doing her work in the house. In fact, she does her work very nicely, so husband won't suspect that there's lover. She's doing her work very nicely. But within her heart, she's always thinking, oh, when will I meet my lover in the night? This is practical. If we can do this in the material world for some ordinary type of activity, what to speak of for Krishna? Just like there was one Muslim named Raskan who became a Vaishnava. And he wrote so beautiful Brijbhasa language poetry all about Krishna consciousness and all about Krishna. And he has one verse, Sabka suniye kai na kichu rahiye imi bagar mein. Kariye vrat neem sachai liye jinte tariye man sagar mein. Sabko miliye durbhava bina rahiye sansanta ujagar mein. Raskani govinda hin yum bajiye jimi nagari kochit gagar mein. Govinda hi yum bajiye jimi nagari kochit gagar mein. Sabka suniye, you listen to everyone, kayina kichu. Don't say a word. This should be the word, this should be the law for the internet. Sabka suniye, don't say a word. Remain this way in this world. Faithfully follow your neems and your vows and ruts. They will carry you across the mind ocean. Tariyaman sagar mein. They will carry you across the mind ocean. Greet everyone without ill will and remain in the light of the true saints. Raskan says, just worship Govinda the way the village girl has got her mind and the jug on her head. Just like if you come to Braj and come on Prikama with me, sometimes we'll see the girls, 2 pots, not just one, 2 pots on the head and no hands. They're carrying 2 pots on the hands and no heads, no hands. And they're walking and they're talking, they're doing everything. But their mind is on the dhyan, their meditation is on the jug on the head. They're walking, they're talking, oh, what happened to your house last night? We heard your mother-in-law screaming. They're walking, they're talking, they're doing everything, but mind is on the jug on the head. So it's practical. Even village girl can do, so it's practical. Govinda hi yum bajiye jami nagari kuchit gagar mein. So this Krishna consciousness is very practical. We do our work, but we always remember Krishna. How to always remember Krishna? Especially in this deep dark age of Kali, Lord Chaitanya has graced this world with His presence. There is no benefactor. Everybody's looking for some benefactor, but there's no benefactor in this world greater than Sriman Mahaprabhu. He has given this very simple process, how to live in this world and get free from this material entanglement and always remember Krishna. What is that? Simply chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very simple process. Just like we see, sometimes people are doing their work and they're singing some cinema song or some popular hit song. So we can do our work and sing Hare Krishna. Just like we have practical experience in our Vrindavan. One very great soul was there, Bibhu Chaitanya. He's the only devotee I know. Prabhupada told him, you don't have to chant your rounds, you just chant Hare Krishna. So we used to go by the kitchen, the Didi kitchen, and you will hear these wonderful melodies coming from. He was just all day long cooking sweets and anything, and samosas. There's no samosas like Bibhu Chaitanya samosas. Now it's just not the same. And all he would do all day long, from morning to night, he took a little break, about 1 o'clock, he would get up 2:30 in the morning. He was an old man. He lived, I think, into his 90s before he left this world. And he would get up at 2:30 in the morning, he'd take his bath and everything, go down to the kitchen, start cooking early in the morning, right through Mangalartik. He was cooking all the way up till 1 o'clock. Then he'd come back to his room, take some Mahaprasad, and then he gave crumbs of Mahaprasad to all the birds. Every day we saw him throwing outside his room little crumbs for all the... And they all knew, they would all wait. All the little minor birds would wait on the railing, because they knew Bibhu Chaitanya, they knew the time. Bibhu Chaitanya is coming, he would... Like that. Then 4 o'clock he was back in the kitchen, then we'd see him coming out of the kitchen, 10 o'clock, carrying his little tiffin of Mahaprasad, like this, all day long doing his work, and the most exquisite melodies of Hare Krishna, with so much love he was chanting. So it's practical, it can be done. Another practical example we have is one time, after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, and he went to Puri, Jagannath Puri. Shortly after arriving in Puri, he decided, since I've taken sannyas, I should go wandering here and there. It's the duty of sannyasi to travel and preach. So Mahaprabhu did his Dakshin Bharat Yatras, the South Indian tour. So he started along the way. He didn't go by AC car or Jet Airways. He went by his feet, with his arms raised in the sky, and his tongue singing very sweetly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And he was completely lost in ecstasy, wandering down the path. In fact, every person who saw him chanting, they became so ecstatic hearing his chanting, automatically, their tongue just automatically began to chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then that person would go back to his own village, and his fellow villagers would see him chanting. They would also begin to chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this way, the supreme benefactor of this world was spreading the chanting of the holy names. After 500 kilometers, he reached one place, Kurma Kshetra, where there's one Kurma temple. It's about 500 kilometers away from Jagannath Puri. About 500 kilometers. In fact, Lord Jagannath, he threw Ramanujacharya from Puri to Kurma Kshetra. Ramanujacharya came there, he saw they have funny type of worship. Pandits, they have their own way. They're pushing the people into the face of the Lord and making them embrace the Lord. And they have a funny way of doing worship, not according to the ordinary rules and regulations. So Ramanuja, he wanted to install all these rules and regulations. In the night, Lord Jagannath said, I'm happy the way they're doing service. You get out of here. Threw him 500 kilometers away. Don't change it. I like it. So Mahaprabhu came to that Kurma Kshetra. He went there, he took darshan of that Kurma deity. He was dancing in ecstasy, and everyone came to see this wonderful golden sannyasi dancing in ecstasy. And one Brahmin came, his name was Kurma Brahmin, in fact. He came in that temple, and he saw Lord Chaitanya dancing in ecstasy. He was amazed. He watched the Lord until he finished dancing. Then he came and fell at the feet of the Lord, and he said, My dear Lord, I'm just fallen householder. You are a great saintly person. It is my duty to invite you to my house. You come stay in my house. So seeing his bhav, Mahaprabhu accepted, yes, I will come to your house. So he stayed there in Kurma Brahmana's house, and every evening there was wonderful Hari Katha, and then Kirtan. Every evening. So this went on for 3 days, every night, Hari Kirtan and Hari Katha. At the end of 3 nights, next morning, Mahaprabhu was getting ready to go. Not like you guys with 2 Samsonite suitcases. Lota or kambal, sadhu ka sambal. Blanket and lota, that's all the luggage of the sadhu. So Kurma Brahman came, and he fell on Mahaprabhu's feet. He said, my dear Lord, we're enjoying so nicely in your company. Every evening is so much ecstasy hearing Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. You please stay one more night. Mahaprabhu said, Nahi, I have not taken sannyas that I will just enjoy my life staying in some householder's house. I did not take sannyas for this purpose. But Prabhu, we're enjoying so much ecstasy in your association. Please, you remain here for one more day. Please, one more day. Seeing his bhav, Mahaprabhu broke his vow. He's all right, one more night, but that's it. So again in the evening, nice Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. Next day, Mahaprabhu was getting ready to go. Kurma Brahman came. He said, no, now I'm leaving. No, I'm not going to stop you, Prabhu. But one thing, Prabhu, I am stuck in this Grihastha life. It is filled with so many difficulties, so many problems, so many troubles, so many anxieties, so many difficulties, so many parishani. I don't want to stop you, actually, Prabhu. I'm going to give up everything and come with you. How the ladies are all worried. Deena Bandhu is going to take everybody with him to Vrindavan. What did Mahaprabhu say? Nahi! No, this is not my mission. This is not my mission. Then what did he speak? He spoke immortal words, Amar Shabd. Yahi kaho, tahi kaho, yahi dekhi tahi kaho, Krishna Upadesh, Amara Gai Guru Hai, Thari Desh. What did he say? He said, wherever you go, whoever you meet, you please tell them about Krishna. You tell them to chant Hare Krishna. Yahi dekho tahi kaho, Krishna Upadesh. Upadesh means message of Krishna. You give the message to simply chant Hare Krishna. You may not know so much philosophy, but you've come here and you've become enchanted by this chanting. So just tell people to chant Hare Krishna, that's all. Amara Gai Guru Hai Thare Desh. You become Guru. Are? How I can become Guru? What quality do I have to become Guru? But Mahaprabhu said what? Amara Gai, by my order. Actually, becoming Guru is not so complicated thing actually. We make it complicated, but it's not complicated. Just like the postman. He takes your letter and delivers it as it is to the receiver. Yatharup, as it is. Not that he opens up the letter and says, well, your friend wrote this, but we're going to scratch that line. He said this, but what he really meant was this. Does the postman do like that? If he does, we'll have him arrested. He simply brings the letter as it is and delivers it to the receiver. So you simply speak Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then you become Guru. Not difficult. Amara Gyai, by my order you become Guru. And Thare Desh, deliver all of your countrymen. This is Mahaprabhu's order. He didn't say you go to the forest, you give up everything. You stay in your family life. You stay with your friends and family relatives. But, just like I told everybody, and everybody says, well, Prabhu, I have no time. Everybody says, I have no time. And it's very interesting. Everything they bought under the slogan, save time, save money. And you ask them for a donation, I have no money. You ask them to come to the temple and chant Hare Krishna, I have no time. You stay at your home and chant, I have no time. They bought everything, save time, save money, but they have no time and no money. But, like I said, everybody's got this ek ank wali asur, this one-eyed asur in their house. So how much time do you waste in front of that crazy thing? Boob tube. Everybody's sister with greater jnana than a yogi. The husband doesn't talk to the wife doesn't talk to the husband, children don't talk to everybody, just staring at this thing. And useless, 90% useless programming. Especially India's most worst programming. At least here we have Discovery Channel or something. You can learn something about Krishna's creation. But, everybody says no time, but we spend so much time in front of this creature, this ek ankwali asur. You just put some cloth over top. You put a little picture of Krishna. You light some incense. No expense. No trouble. You sit with your family and friends and you chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. You stay with your family. You stay do your work. But you add Krishna consciousness. This is very simple. So this is Mahaprabhu's mission, that somehow or other we get everybody to stay in their home and chant Hare Krishna with all their friends and family. And that family that chants together, they stay together. Therefore, Krishna told Bali Maharaj, you go to that Sutala, you take your whole family, go there. But you always remain. So Bali was a Daitya, but he became one of our Mahajans. And he's the example of surrendering every Atma Nivedana, just like we have our Atma Nivedana Swami. He's the example of Atma Nivedana. Although he was a Daitya, born in the demon side of the family, he became one of our Mahajans. Jai Sisi Radha Gokulananda ki jai. And we see that Krishna, he gave everything to Krishna. He didn't become impoverished. He got even better position. Just like when Krishna was a young boy staying in Gokul, at that time in Mathura, there was a very, 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 very low caste lady. And in her youth, she lost her husband and no child, no one to take care of her. So what she used to do, she used to go to the wholesale market, she'd buy some fruits from the wholesale market. Then she'd find some old wood and somehow wrap it together with some rope and get to the other side and Gokul side of the river. And she'd wander through the villages with her basket of fruit on her head. Just like when you go on the train in India, they come, Kela banana, save, apple, save, santara, orange, santara, orange, time pass kele pina, garan singara, jai. So she was wandering through the villages, selling her fruits like this. And as she wanders through the village, she heard that somewhere on this side of the river, there's one fellow named Nanda Maharaj, and he has such a wonderful son, so beautiful, blackish like a monsoon cloud, lotus petal eyes, curly black hair, so sweet and so wonderful. The more she heard about that fellow, that little boy, she became so attracted. She became so attracted that every day she came across the river, she got her fruits and she found some old banana trees and wrapped them together and got to the other side and she'd sell her fruits. And she thought she was calling out the names of her fruits. But she became so attached to that boy just by hearing about him Just by hearing. She became attached. And she thought she was chanting the names of her fruits. She was chanting out the names of that boy. She was going through the village. Things she's calling Kela Kela Banana. She was going, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. She was chanting the names of Krishna. But somehow she never came to that particular village where Nanda Maharaj resided. Every day she would come. And the more she heard, she became so attached. Finally, one day she made vow, if I don't find that boy, then what is the use of this life? I'm going to give up my life if I can't see that boy. That son of Nanda Maharaj, blackish like a monsoon cloud, like an Indranila jewel, like a blue lotus. If I don't see him, then what is the use of this life? Maintaining it. So that particular day, she found some old banana trees and strapped them together. She got to the other side. Somehow she entered into the village of Gokul. She entered into the village of Gokul. And she thought she was calling out the names of her fruit. She was calling out the names of Krishna. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. And Nandalala, he was inside the house. He heard someone calling his names. So he ran out to the door and he looked outside. He saw the fruit ladies coming. So he ran back in the house and he saw that his father never used money. What did they do? They used to barter. Actually, I read one article that money is only 2,000 years old. So this is 5,000 years ago, no money. We used to barter. And by bartering, we remained dependent and we cared for one another. Now we have money, and if I got money, I don't care about anybody else. But in old days, we bartered and we depended on each other and we loved one another and supported one another. Now everybody just wants to get money and he doesn't care anyone else. So he went to the grain bin, he grabbed some grains in his tiny little hand. Little boy, so how much grains he can hold. He grabbed some grains and he's a little boy, he doesn't know how to carry properly. So they're falling out here and there and here and there. So he ran out to the front gate, and the lady, when she saw him, she immediately recognized, this is that boy. And he opened up his hand, but all the grains had slipped out. There's only a few little grains left in his hand. And that lady, she sat down, put her basket down. He said, Lala, it doesn't matter. It's okay. I will give you so many fruits. I will give you so many fruits. You just do one thing. You sit here in my lap and look into my eyes and say, Maya. And Nandalala, he looked up the street. He looked down the street. He looked all around. Of course, we know Krishna, he doesn't care about the caste or creed or color or anything of his devotee. But still, he's playing the part of the son of the king of Braj, Nanda Maharaj. If anyone sees him in this low-caste lady's lap, what will they think? So he looked up the street. He looked down the street. He looked all around. Nobody's looking. He jumped in that lady's lap, looked into her eyes and said, Maya? Then he jumped out. That lady, she was just seeing those two beautiful eyes of Krishna, like blue lotus petals, staring with so much love into her eyes. And that voice was just ringing in her ears. Maya? She just filled his arms with so much fruit he couldn't even carry. Just for a few little grains, she gave him so much fruit he couldn't carry. And he's just a little boy. He doesn't know how to walk properly, so he's just trying to balance all this fruit. And Last thing she saw was this little boy waddling back into the house with all this fruit like that. And she picked up her basket and wandered back down to the Jamuna. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Suddenly she realized her basket's very heavy. She took her basket down off her head and she looked inside. Gold, silver, jewels, pearls about this big, diamonds, rubies, huge emeralds, unlimited wealth was there. She gave few little grains to Krishna. He gave unlimited wealth. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So if we surrender to Krishna, we're never the loser. We're the gainer millions of times. So we'll put our voice to rest here. If anybody has any questions, we can try to answer their questions.